Did you know having this hump behind your neck, also known as a buffalo hump, is a sign that you have high cortisol? Cortisol is the stress hormone, and when it's elevated for long periods of time, it can lead to side effects. These include weakening of our immune system, anxiety, and weight gain in areas that we typically shouldn't be gaining weight, including our midsections and the back of our neck. So what can you do to reduce and eventually get rid of this hump? It all starts with lowering your cortisol. The number one thing to do is to prioritize your sleep. And I know, everyone rolls their eyes when they hear this recommendation, but getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep on a consistent basis is key. You can do everything else we're gonna talk about in today's video, but if your sleep isn't on point, it might not even matter. Cortisol is always gonna be higher when you have poor sleeping habits. And we see this in studies done on shift workers. Your body is relying on cortisol to energize it if you're not getting enough sleep. And I also want to point out that the quality matters. Factors like eating too close to bedtime or drinking alcohol significantly lower your sleep quality. I track my sleep and my recovery using Whoop, and even if I go to sleep at the right time, even if I get enough sleep, eating within 3 hours of my bedtime or drinking any alcohol significantly lower my sleep quality. And Whoop actually has a new feature where you can see your stress levels at any time throughout the day. On days when I've done everything right and I haven't drank any alcohol, this is what my stress levels look like while I sleep. But after a couple drinks, this is what my stress levels look like. Which just goes to show how negatively alcohol impacts our bodies. Number 2 is to practice breathing. Decrease our stress levels, basically on command. In some situations, you might want to increase your stress levels if you're in a relaxed state and you want to be more alert. To do this, we breathe more quickly and we shorten our exhales. But if we want to reduce stress, the key is to extend our exhales. You want them to be longer than your inhales. One of the easiest techniques to achieve this is 4-7-8 breathing. You breathe in for 4 counts, you hold for 7, and you exhale for 8. Doing this even a handful of times can calm your nervous system and reduce your cortisol levels. And the more you practice, the better you're gonna get at calming your nervous system on command. So do it in the morning, the evening, or whenever you remember. Even just a few breaths can help. Number 3 is to supplement magnesium. Magnesium is an electrolyte that a lot of people are not getting enough of. And if we don't have enough in our system, our body cannot efficiently lower cortisol. If there was one supplement I would recommend to everyone above everything else, it would be magnesium. And I'm gonna link to some of my favorite brands in the description box down below if you're not sure which ones to buy. Number 4 is to limit caffeine. Caffeine increases our production of cortisol. And as we spoke about earlier, in certain situations, this can be beneficial. If you want to increase your alertness before a big meeting or a workout, for example. But when our cortisol is chronically high, then we run into problems and we start to experience the side effects we spoke about earlier, including the buffalo hump. And this ties in with sleep as well. Because if we don't sleep well, a lot of us tend to rely on caffeine to keep us energized throughout the day. Because if we drink it too close to when we're trying to fall asleep, we can have issues not only falling asleep, but with our sleep quality, and then it becomes a vicious cycle. Now, there is a genetic component to how quickly we metabolize caffeine. Some people can have it very late in the day, they can drink a lot of it throughout the day, and have no trouble sleeping whatsoever. However, this is a small percentage compared to the rest of us, who generally need to stop consuming caffeine at least 6 hours before we plan to go to bed. So figure out what works for you, take note of how you sleep based on how much caffeine you've consumed and when you've consumed it, and make the necessary adjustments. And number 5 is to do the right exercise. When you do any type of moderate to high intensity exercise, there is going to be an increase in cortisol. And this is natural, it's not harmful, actually the opposite. It's going to be beneficial. Because afterwards, if we allow ourselves the chance to calm down accordingly, then this cortisol is going to drop. But if we're constantly doing very high intensity exercise day after day, and especially if we're already in a high stress state, this can make the problem worse. And this is why I'm not a fan of chronic cardio, which is when you are running, cycling, or doing any type of cardio that exceeds your aerobic threshold for an extended period of time. Basically, if your heart rate is staying at 70% of your max or higher throughout the entire workout, this is not ideal. The best type of cardio you can do is lower intensity, where your heart rate stays in zone 2, roughly 60 to 70% of your heart rate max. And if you're confused about the heart rate zones, stay with me. Basically, you know you're going to be in zone 2 if you can hold a conversation during the cardio session, or if you can breathe entirely through your nose. If you have to breathe through your mouth, then the intensity is too high. And this could be contributing to your chronic high cortisol. Now, high intensity interval training, also known as HIIT, is beneficial despite the fact that you are elevating your heart rate significantly. The difference is HIIT is only done for short bursts and for a shorter period of time, and you only really need to do it once in a while to get the benefits. You do not want to be doing HIIT day after day. And then of course, resistance training is also great. It's basically just chronic cardio and over-exercising in general that you want to avoid. Now, before I wrap up, I'm going to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. For anyone who's looking to build a website or an online store, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that does it all. I've been using Squarespace since I launched my coaching business back in 2018, and I could not be happier with it. I started by designing my website with one of their templates, and I customized the look, added my content, and chose the features that fit my needs. If you have physical, digital, or service products to sell, Squarespace has everything you need to start selling and accepting payments online. And the best part is you can use their analytics tool to grow your business, learn where your site visits and sales are coming from, and analyze what channels are most effective. You can head to squarespace.com/healthcoachkate to start your free trial, build your website, test it out. You don't have to enter your credit card details or anything to start this trial. And when you love it and decide to launch, make sure to use code HealthCoachKate to save 10% off your order. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have this buffalo hump and what you have done, if anything, that has helped to reduce it. Let me know in the comment section down below. I love hearing from you guys and I love chatting with you. Even if you just want to come and say hi, I appreciate the comment. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.